Hi folks, G3 here. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about new homes and sustainability. What's the motivation behind this video? Well, recently, Mrs. G3 and I have been looking at possibly moving house. We've been thinking about going to a more energy efficient house, something that's a newer build, good insulation, good windows and the like. So that's why we've been having a bit of a look around. And recently we looked at a few new developments. So we went to a Taylor Wimpey development, a Barrett's Homes and a David Wilson Homes development. Now they've got a range of properties there that are being built at the moment in various different prices, and we quite liked what we saw from some of them. They seem to have some good build quality and some nice ideas with layouts and things, but as with all new houses, you don't get a lot of space in the garden and potentially there are limitations with parking. But there were a couple of concerns when we were looking around, and I asked questions of the agents that were showing us around and the sort of properties, and they've got a lot of flexibility in how some of these can be laid out when you purchase. They've got lists for additional sockets you could have in the house. You could have them moved, the TV points moved. You could have inbuilt wardrobes, different surfaces in the kitchen, different inbuilt units or external units. There's a whole range of things that you can change. But there was a common factor between all three that couldn't be changed. They all have gas boilers, and none of them, when I asked whether we'd be able to have that changed for a air source heat pump, would be able to do that. It's only the gas boilers that they're fitting. It seems really short-sighted because there are lots of improvements being made with the air source heat pump, and they are a lot more efficient than the gas boilers that are in place, and obviously they're not using gas, they're using electricity. And seeing as Mrs. G3 and I have invested in a wind farm so that our electricity towards the end of this year will be purely generated by a wind farm, we know that the energy that is going into the grid that we are going to be using will be from a wind farm. So we know that it's a sustainable energy supply that's going there. So we'd rather use electricity for all of that and remove our usage of gas. So the fact that they're only fitting a gas boiler and won't allow you to fit that out for an air source heat pump at an extra cost, I would expect, it seems very short-sighted. So they allow all of these other ranges of things that you can easily change and tailor your home with if you do it at the right time of the build. They just won't do it for the gas boiler and change it out, which just seems extremely narrow-minded and short-sighted. What we would be able to do is, once we've moved in, is to rip out the gas boiler and get an air source heat pump fitted. That's just not. It's just, why? It just seems ludicrous that you go and fit this new item into a house to then plan on having it ripped out. It just seems pointless and such a waste of cost and resources to get that fitted. It's just not a sustainable option. So I would implore these developers to actually think about giving options to customers when they're purchasing. I appreciate that they are buying in mass for these things and that is their model for fitting, but it just seems ludicrous. Why can't they have these as options? So I'm looking at you, Taylor Wimpey, Barrett Homes and David Wilson Homes. I'm looking at you to say, add these as an option. Allow customers to be able to chop them out and fit the air source heat pump as an option. Please, it just seems madness. There may well be other developers that are doing this. I mean, we have a development going in over the road from us, and this is from a small developer that I think is based in Wales, but they're also branching out here. They have a slightly more sustainable option, I believe, with the builds, but even those, I don't think they swap out the gas boiler for an air source heat pump. And the other thing that really flummoxed me with these developments is that they all have an ensuite for the size of room that we were going for, the size of house rather we're going for. They all have an ensuite, which is a shower room, which is great. But the main bathroom, they only ever offer a bath. You can fit a shower overhead, but they only ever offer a bath. They won't allow you to have a shower fitted in that room in place of a bath. It's not an option on their list of options, and that's just how they build these developments. I know that it isn't necessarily always the most efficient to have a shower if you don't use it wisely. So if you have a power shower fitted and take a long shower, you can end up using more power and more water than a bath. I appreciate that. So a bath on average would be maybe 100 litres, and if you're using a power shower for 10 minutes or so, it's probably going to be more than that on an energy perspective. There are various different studies that have shown that is the case. But I take a quick shower, and a 5-minute shower is going to use roughly half the water that a bath would, and it will use less energy. So for my personal usage, a shower is much better. It's a much better option, and I don't want a bath fitted in a new house, but I don't have the choice. So that is the same with Taylor Wimpey, Barratt's and David Wilson Homes, who are part of the Barratt's group. They don't offer you that option to swap out the bath for a shower and to have that fitted in, and that just seems ludicrous to me. I'm happy to pay for it. They just don't have that as an option. So they are forcing people to have that bath fitted, and then in the future have that taken out at the expense of having the shower fitted in its place. It's just absolutely ludicrous, and it's, again, not a sustainable option for people that want that choice. Why aren't they offering it? The prices that they've got for the list of products that are going in seem reasonable. The prices are reasonable for the amount of work that's being needed to go and change their planned house, to put in things in different places and to upgrade and stuff. They seem reasonable. I don't have a problem with that. And I would love for them to also offer the possibility of swapping out a bath and putting a shower in the main bathroom, because that's my choice for having a more sustainable long-term option. I want to be using less water, and I want to be using less electricity by having a quicker shower. I don't want to be using that bath. So it just seems strange that they're not offering that as an option. And there may well be other developers in the region that are offering that. I would love to hear from you if you know of other developers in Kent. I'm in Kent, so other developers in this region that are offering that sustainability option. So allowing you to swap out a bath for a shower, and also allowing other options for the energy source in the house. So not just a gas boiler. It would be great if you could leave that in the comments down below and let me know. I'd really appreciate that, so I can have a look at them and see them as an option. To the credit of the David Wilson Homes, they do fit an EV charge point as standard. The others, there was no mention of it whatsoever. That you can fit your own EV charge point, but David Wilson Homes were putting that as part of their standard fitting, that they were putting that in. That's great. So it's really good to hear that they're doing that. And obviously with the build quality, they're making sure that it's got good layers of insulation, that the house is insulated, that the windows are really good, and there's going to be minimal heat loss there. So in theory, I think they're talking about reducing your energy costs by about 50% over the sort of standard house. So that's great. That's what I want to achieve. Fantastic. But I also want to look at reducing the gas usage and energy usage in general, and they're just not allowing that as an option. So yeah, seems very short-sighted. So there we go, folks. That was my quick video this week. It's a little bit of a rant, and also hoping that you might be able to find some information for me about developers in the area that are allowing that option and not being quite so short-sighted with the fitting options they have on new houses. So I'd love to hear from you down below about problems that you've had when you've been looking around, whether developers aren't giving options that you want, whether they are forcing your hand for these things that you're then going to have to swap out afterwards, and they're not taking a particularly sustainable approach. I'd really love to hear from you. Up next, up here, is a video I think you might find useful. So yeah, by all means, take a look. That'd be great. And if you haven't done so already, then why not subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you get notified when I load up a new video. Well, thanks for watching, folks. I'm off to do a little bit more work in the garden now. So hopefully I'll have another video up soon on that. But thanks in the meantime. See you soon. Bye.